Good afternoon, everybody. I am Muriel Bowser, Mayor of Washington, D.C. We are in the John A. Wilson building to sign an important labor agreement between D.C. Public Schools and the Council of School Officers, which represents hundreds of DCPS school-based staff, including our principals, assistant principals, administrators, and service providers. I want to acknowledge and thank their representative, Richard Jackson, who is the president of the Council of School Officers, and Barbara Childs, the executive vice president of school officers, for their leadership. Please give them a big round of applause. I also want to acknowledge members of my team who work so closely with our labor partners to get this agreement done. I want to start with Chancellor Louis Farabee, who is the Chancellor of DC Public Schools and has the privilege of working with these outstanding education professionals each and every day. Thank you, Chancellor Farabee. I also want to acknowledge our Director of Human Resources, as well as the Office of Labor Relations and Bargaining, Director Lindsay Maxwell. Thank you, Lindsay. So let me just say that we know how important our schools are to our city. You hear me say this day in and day out, and I must say that I have encountered a lot of happy parents in the last couple of weeks. And even better, a lot of happy children. And we know that this school year in particular will be critical for our students' comeback. We're grateful to our teachers, to all of our employees, to our parents, to who got our kids ready for schools, and we're grateful to the leadership at DCPS who made sure that we were welcoming them to challenging environments where they are loved, challenged, excited to get back to school. And as I tell my daughter, school is her job, and she's excited to get to work. I'm also grateful to everyone who came together on this agreement, as we were together not too long ago to talk about a labor agreement with our largest bargaining unit. We're also happy to be here to talk about the agreement that we have made with our school administrators. So let me just tell you briefly what it includes. This new agreement includes a retroactive 2.5% pay raise for fiscal 21. It also includes a 2.5% increase for FY22, which we're in right now, and a 3.5% increase for FY23, which will start in a few weeks, and a 4% increase for FY24. Congratulations, Mr. Jackson. We're also increasing bonuses and including supplemental pay for the long hours many employees work outside of their tour of duty. So I want to congratulate everyone. We are grateful for our principals. I think that you have heard me say this before, but our principals are like many mayors. They're the mayors of their campuses. We call on them for their academic know-how, for their social and emotional supports. Sometimes they're project managers and assisting our real estate team in projects that are happening. They are the conduit oftentimes between families and the rest of DC government. So we call on them to do a lot, and we know when they get it right, it's right for our kids. I also want to recognize our service providers, many of whom are service providers to our students with greatest need, including our school-based psychologists, speech therapists, physical therapists, social workers, and other specialized workers. So we know that our students have been through a lot, but we are here to serve them. And we recognize our administrators, the 4,000 DC public school teachers, who are not represented by the CSO, but by the Washington Teachers Union. I'm proud of the offer that we put on the table to them as well, and I look very much to being able to celebrate an agreement with them too. But with that, I want to turn over the podium to President Richard Jackson, who is fair, who speaks up for his members, and who, like all of us here, love what we are doing for children. So let me turn it over to Richard Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser, Chancellor Farabee, Deputy Lindsay, invited guests. I'm Richard Jackson, President of the Council of School Officers, and we are the union representing school leadership, but not only school leadership, we represent administrators, directors, coordinators, as well as service providers, related service providers, psychologists, social workers, and the like. I'm pleased to announce our agreement with the mayor and the chancellor and their teams on a new 4-year agreement. This agreement is a continuation of our collaborative efforts to provide the students and families within DC Public Schools with the very best school leaders. That's our agenda, to put the very best school leaders in schools. A few highlights that have gotten our members excited about this agreement, Madam Mayor, is the recognition of all that other work that happens outside of the school hours. Our school leaders work arduously within the schools, but then particularly during the past pandemic, our members were contact tracers, our members were testers, they were all manner of school leaders, and they really gave their all to hold the school district together. And as we were negotiating this contract, I think our management partners acknowledged that, and this new agreement celebrates the hard work they've done and gives us a system in which we will make sure our members understand how hard they work and that they are appreciated by leadership. So we really appreciate that. A second thing in this agreement that has our members excited is that we have a commitment to continue to recruit and retain the best leaders in the country. So how do we do that? We've done that in this agreement by making our members lifelong learners. And this agreement allows our members to get tuition reimbursement. It allows our members to get sabbatical leave. And so it really makes a commitment to making sure that when someone comes to work with our families and our children, they're committed to stay here because we're going to support them in ways that allow them to have a good living but provide outstanding outcomes for our students. Last, this agreement recognizes and will celebrate our most impactful leaders. We have some people here that are really outstanding, and this agreement celebrates those people in a way that is quite tangible. And so we looked at the bonus system, and the bonus system was adjusted not only for principals and assistant principals, but for all those other CSO members who do outstanding work. And so our members are really thankful and really appreciate that management and that the leadership of DC Public Schools, Chancellor Farabee, and the Mayor's office, Madam Mayor, really have acknowledged that. So we are really, really thankful. We're really excited about this agreement, and we think this agreement will be positively impactful over the next 4 years to understand that through collaboration, great outcomes will be had for all our families. So again, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and I'll turn it over to our illustrious Chancellor, Chancellor Farabee.
Good afternoon. Thank you, President Jackson. As a former principal, I can attest that the workday actually just started for our school leaders as they welcome our students back home and transitioning. What I can say today is not only is this a big day and huge for DC Public Schools, but we wouldn't be here without your leadership, sir. And sincerely, I am extremely grateful to work with you and your team. Your bargaining team have been phenomenal and fair, and you're one of the reasons why we're standing here today. So again, thank you, sir, for your leadership. Mayor Bowser, I'm so grateful for you signing this agreement. We greatly appreciate your leadership, yes. And we're so fortunate. I tell my colleagues often that it's a true pleasure to work in a city where our mayor, our leader, recognizes that the vitality of our city hinges on our public school system. Our ability to educate our young people well in a K-12 system is paramount. And what this agreement represents is our ability to continue that. We're on our third year of the rebound from the impact of the pandemic, and we welcome students back for the second year in person, and we have started strong. We're excited about this school year. As the mayor said, we are very much focused on ensuring our students feel loved, challenged, and prepared. And our school leaders are a critical part of ensuring that that happens on a daily basis in our building. So we're grateful for all the work that they've done over the past 2 years, and we know that we will continue strong work throughout this school year. As the mayor said earlier, we're not done. So I do want to reiterate that we are in active conversations with all our employee unions and look forward to standing in agreement with those organizations, especially including the Washington Teaching Union, which we're in conversation with now. So we know that that work continues along with ensuring that our students are prepared to succeed in life. And again, we're grateful for the leadership of everybody here represented. And I want to close with recognizing Director Maxwell, who wears many hats, but does his magic in leading us through all of our labor relations and collective bargaining. So again, thank you, sir, for your leadership, and also the DCPS General Counsel team and their negotiation strategies and skills. Thank you again for joining us and celebrating this momentous day as we reach this agreement. Thank you.
And Director Maxwell, I'm going to invite you up, and I'll take any questions if there are any questions here. But you and your team have been busy, and you might just want to remind everybody how hard we've been working. In a time where we called on our employees to do a lot, we've also worked very hard to make sure we have up-to-date agreements with them. I want to acknowledge the City Administrator, Kevin Donahue, the Assistant City Administrator, Lindsay Parker, as well, who are in the audience, and I want to invite Director Maxwell, who is responsible for telling me everything that our employees need and helping me figure out how to deliver it. So, Director Maxwell.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Bowser, for your leadership. Let me start by saying congratulations to you, President Jackson. You and your team did a fantastic job of being able to advocate for your membership, and we so appreciate the work that you do. We know how important it is to this city. Chancellor, we always appreciate your leadership in being sure that our children are being educated in the way that our mayor says that they should. So thank you so much for your work. And finally, we just want to let everybody know we continue to be at the table with all of our labor unions, and we look forward to closing all of those agreements very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Any press questions? Press questions? Press questions? Okay. With that, I'm going to sign the document and say thank you again.